Welcome back, chosen one. Today, in this moment, the light led you here as God's will. Listen to me carefully, child of God. This message is not for everyone. If you play with darkness, mock the things of the Spirit, or treat God lightly, you should not be here. Only those who truly seek the Most High, only the ones who feel that quiet pull in their soul, are meant to hear what I am about to say. If you are still watching, it is because heaven allowed this message to find you at the perfect time. Your steps were guided here. What I am going to reveal will confront you, strengthen you, and may change the course of your life if you receive it with an open heart. This is a word for the chosen and for the strongest among them. Before we go deeper, I want you to seal your agreement in the Spirit. If you feel this speaking to you, leave a comment right now. Type 777 as a sign that you know this message is for you. And if this resonates with your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Share this with someone who needs to wake up. Now, chosen one, stay with me until the end. There is something you must hear when I say the strongest chosen one. I am not speaking about ego titles or who looks the most spiritual on the outside. I am speaking about those whose spirit has been tempered in fire, whose heart has been broken and rebuilt by God Himself, whose obedience has been forged in the hidden place. Many are called, few are chosen. And among the chosen, there is a remnant inside the remnant. These are the ones heaven can trust with heavier battles and greater assignments. The strongest chosen one is not always the loudest voice in the room. They are often the quiet, observing soul in the corner who sees what others ignore and feels what others cannot sense. From childhood, they felt different, like they did not fully belong to the world around them. While others were comfortable blending in, they carried an invisible weight, a strange knowing that their life would not be ordinary. They might have been mocked as too sensitive, too deep, or too serious. But that sensitivity was spiritual radar, not weakness. You may remember being the one who saw the brokenness in your family before anyone else. You may have felt darkness in atmospheres, heaviness in certain places, confusion in people's words when their spirit did not match their mouth. You may have cried without knowing why, feeling burdens that did not logically belong to you. These are signs of spiritual rank. The strongest chosen ones are often born with a higher sensitivity to the unseen because their assignment requires sharper discernment. Yet the world did not celebrate this. Because of that, many of the strongest chosen grew up feeling misunderstood, rejected, or even cursed. Friendships failed without clear reasons. Family members turned cold. People they loved deeply could not truly see them. But hear me. Rejection was not a curse. It was a filter. God used rejection to keep you from being formed by the wrong voices. He allowed doors to close so your spirit would not be caged inside environments that could not carry who you are becoming. If you are beginning to see yourself in these words, tap that like button. Let me know you are tracking with this message. The strongest chosen ones go through training others do not understand. While some people live comfortably in spiritual sleep, you are thrown into battle early. Strange warfare shows up in your life. Attacks come in patterns. Every time you try to step forward, something tries to pull you back. This is not because you are weak. It is because you are dangerous to darkness. The enemy identified your potential before you did and decided you must be broken, discouraged, and silenced. Look at the rhythm of your life. How many times have you survived what should have destroyed you? How many times did you think this is the end, and yet somehow you rose again? The strongest chosen ones are still standing after storms that would have killed others spiritually. This is spiritual evidence of rank. Strength is not proven in easy days. It is proven in the days where you pray with tears, worship with a heavy heart, and choose God even when you feel abandoned. You have also noticed that your conscience is different. You cannot sin comfortably. You cannot live in compromise and feel at peace where others are able to make excuses. You feel conviction quickly. You are pulled back to alignment again and again. This is not God being harsh with you. This is God protecting his investment inside you. The strongest chosen ones are disciplined more strictly because what they carry is more costly. The hidden training of the strongest chosen ones often looks like loneliness. There were seasons when God allowed everyone to walk away so you would finally hear his voice clearly. At times, it felt like punishment, but it was separation. In those quiet nights, when no one answered your calls and no one understood your tears, heaven was teaching you how to walk with God as your closest companion. The strongest chosen are trained to stand even when no one claps for them, no one validates them, and no one sees what they are carrying. You might have been kept away from certain friendships, relationships, or paths that looked attractive. You did not understand why things never worked out for you the way they did for others. Listen to me. That was divine protection, not failure. The strongest chosen cannot be entangled in every story because their energy, time, and heart must remain available for their true assignment. God closed some doors, not because you were unworthy, but because you were too valuable to be wasted there. Another mark of the strongest chosen one is the weight of compassion they carry. Even after betrayal, they still feel called to love. Even after being misunderstood, they still feel drawn to help others heal. They may appear stern or guarded sometimes, but inside them is a deep well of mercy. This is why people come to you with their pain, their secrets, their questions. They sense that you carry something stable, something ancient, something safe. That is the Spirit of God resting on you. The strongest chosen ones also wrestle with a sense of too big inside. They look at ordinary life and feel a quiet restlessness, like they were born for more than just chasing money, attention, or survival. This restlessness is not greed. It is calling. It is the story of your spirit, remembering that there is a mission on your life and you will never be fully satisfied until you walk in it. You may have tried to drown it with distraction, entertainment, or busyness, but it always returns. That restlessness is heaven knocking. And here is something crucial you need to understand. Your assignment is not just about you. The strongest chosen ones carry assignments that affect generations. When you finally step into your true calling, people you have never met will be set free. Doors will open for others because you chose to walk through yours. Chains in your family line that have held people captive for decades will snap. This is why the warfare has been so personal, so relentless, so specific. Do not confuse spiritual rank with worldly rank. The strongest chosen one may not be rich, famous, or widely liked. They may be working a simple job, living in a small place, known by few. But in the spirit, when they speak, things shift. When they pray, chains break. When they walk into a room, atmospheres respond. Even if people cannot explain why, the unseen world knows who they are, long before the visible world acknowledges them. True strength is measured in impact, not applause. It is measured in what breaks in the spirit realm when you show up, not in how many people notice you in the natural. If your memories, your wounds, your strange life patterns are lining up with these words, it is not by accident. You are beginning to see yourself as heaven has always seen you. You are not crazy. You are not weak. You are not too much. You are a vessel that has been tested, crushed, and preserved for a bigger story. Before we continue, I want you to comment and tell me which part of this resonated most deeply with you. Your testimony might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. There is a prophecy over your life. I am not speaking about something vague. I am speaking about a specific assignment that heaven marked you for before you were born. The enemy has fought so hard to keep you from discovering it because he knows that when you fully step into who you were created to be, entire atmospheres will shift, generations will be influenced, chains that have been in your bloodline for decades will be broken. You may have heard words spoken over you in the past, promises that felt too big, confirmations that confused you more than they encouraged you. The reason you struggled to believe them is because the weight of the assignment did not match where you were. At the time, you were not ready yet, but chosen one. The season is changing. What was spoken is now shifting from prophetic promise to tangible reality. The pieces are aligning, the doors are preparing to open, the people are being positioned. Pay attention to what has been happening in your life recently. Have you noticed certain themes repeating? Have specific words or phrases been coming up again and again from different sources? Have you felt a stirring, an urgency, a pull towards something you cannot quite name yet? These are not coincidences, these are confirmations. Heaven is speaking, preparing you, alerting you that your moment is approaching. The strongest chosen ones carry prophecies that require them to go through longer preparation than others. Your delay was not denial, it was development. While you were waiting in the hidden place, your character was being shaped, your discernment was being sharpened, and your spirit was being fortified. Heaven was ensuring that when your moment comes, you will not crumble under the weight of what you carry. Every battle you survived was a classroom. Every betrayal you overcame was training. Every tear you cried was anointing oil, preparing you for what is next. This is also why the warfare has been so intense. When there is a major prophecy on someone's life, the enemy assigns greater resistance. He throws confusion, delays, false starts, betrayals, and discouragement at you, hoping you will give up before your time comes. But the very intensity of your battle is evidence of the value of your assignment. Weak callings do not face strong opposition. Small purposes do not attract major attacks. The fact that you are still here, still fighting, still seeking, proves that what is inside you is too important to be stopped. Now hear this carefully. Timing in the Spirit is not random. There are moments when heaven opens doors that have been shut for years. There are seasons when suddenly everything that seemed stuck begins to move. You may be entering one of those moments right now, but understand this. These moments require immediate obedience. When God says move, you cannot afford to hesitate. When He says speak, you cannot afford to second guess. When He says let go, you cannot afford to hold on. Delayed obedience is often quiet disobedience. The strongest chosen ones must become acutely aware of divine timing. Not every door that opens is meant for you to walk through. Not every opportunity is a blessing. Not every connection is ordained. Some doors open as tests to see if you will run ahead of God. Some opportunities look good, but will drain you. Some connections seem perfect, but will derail your assignment. You must learn to pause, to inquire of the Spirit, to wait for the green light before you move. Do not let desperation make you run ahead of God's timing, and do not let fear keep you frozen when it is time to step. There is an authority on your life that you must begin to recognize and walk in. You are not just a believer who prays and hopes things work out. You carry delegated power from heaven. When you speak in alignment with God's will, Your words do not just float into the atmosphere. They shift things, they break things, they establish things. But this authority only functions when you are living in obedience and purity. Compromise weakens your voice. Sin mutes your prayers. Disobedience creates static between you and heaven. This is why holiness is not optional for you. You cannot live like everyone else and expect to carry unusual anointing. The strongest chosen must maintain a different standard. Your private life must match your public prayers. Your thought life must align with your declarations. Your entertainment choices must reflect the presence you carry. What you watch, what you listen to, what you scroll through. These things are either feeding your anointing or draining it. Be ruthlessly honest with yourself about what is weakening your spiritual edge. Let me give you practical instructions now. If you are one of the strongest chosen, there are specific ways you must move in this season. First, guard your spirit with everything in you. What you allow into your atmosphere will either strengthen or weaken your spiritual clarity. Not every conversation is safe. Not every space is healthy. Not every person is meant to have access to you. Learn to recognize what drains your anointing and what feeds it. There are people in your life right now who feel comfortable and familiar. But if you are honest, every time you spend time with them, you feel spiritually heavy afterward. That heaviness is not in your imagination. That is your spirit alerting you that something is off. You do not need to make a scene or create drama. You simply need to create space, pull back, protect your energy. The strongest chosen cannot afford to keep pouring into bottomless pits. Your oil is too precious to be wasted on people who are not ready to change. You must also become strategic about your time. Stop giving hours to things that do not align with your calling. The enemy does not need to destroy you if he can keep you distracted. Your time is a weapon. Use it to pray, to study, to build, to rest, to create, protect your mornings. What you do in the first hour of your day sets the tone for everything that follows. If you start your day scrolling, reacting to other people's agendas, consuming content mindlessly, you are handing your power away before the day even begins. Instead, start your day in the presence of God. Even if it is just 10 minutes, read something that feeds your spirit. Pray over your day. Declare God's promises over your mind. Worship before you work. This is not religious ritual. This is strategic spiritual warfare. You are setting the atmosphere for your entire day. You are reminding yourself who you belong to before the world tries to tell you who you should be. Protect your peace. Protect your focus. There will be people who want to dump their chaos on you. There will be emergencies that are not really emergencies. There will be crises that are not yours to fix. Learn to discern between what is your assignment and what is simply noise. You cannot save everyone. You cannot fix everyone. You cannot be available to everyone. And that is okay. Boundaries are not unloving. Boundaries are wisdom. If this is speaking to you right now, go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know this is resonating with where you are. Watch who you allow into your inner circle. The strongest chosen cannot afford to keep covenant with people who normalize sin, mock holiness, or constantly pull them back into old versions of themselves. Love them, pray for them, but do not join them. Not every friendly face is a safe spirit. Some people were sent to your life and some were sent against your life. Learn the difference. Pay attention to what happens to your spirit after you spend time with someone. Do you feel heavier or lighter, clearer or more confused? Do you leave their presence feeling inspired and strengthened? Or do you leave feeling drained and discouraged? Your spirit knows the difference. even when your mind tries to make excuses. Stop overriding your discernment because someone has been in your life for a long time, or because letting them go would be uncomfortable. Comfortable does not always mean correct. There are also people heaven is trying to send to you, but they cannot find you because you are still entangled with the wrong connections. When you finally release what no longer serves your calling, you create space for divine alignments. The right people will find you when you stop holding on to the wrong ones, and when they do arrive, you will recognize them. There will be a resonance, a flow, a mutual sharpening. They will see you. They will honor what you carry. They will call you higher, not pull you lower. But here is what you must understand. Even in healthy relationships, the strongest chosen cannot look to people to be what only God can be. Do not make any human your source of validation, security, or identity. People will fail you. People will disappoint you. People will walk away. Not because they are evil, but because they are human. If your peace is tied to human approval, you will never have lasting peace. Your foundation must be in God alone. And then healthy relationships become a blessing, not a necessity. Distraction is as dangerous to you as outright sin. The enemy knows that if he cannot get you to fall openly, he will try to keep you busy, entertained, and spiritually numb. Endless scrolling, meaningless conversations, constant comparison, chasing trends, feeding on content that does not build you. These things will quietly drain your power. They are not necessarily evil in themselves, but they become weapons when they steal the time and attention you should be giving to your assignment. Think about how much time you spend consuming versus creating, how much time you spend reacting versus initiating, how much time you spend in other people's stories versus building your own. The strongest chosen must learn to be intentional with every hour. Your time must be handled like a weapon because it is one. What you sow your time into will either multiply your impact or diminish it. There is no neutral ground. Watch your mouth. The authority on your life means your words carry weight. You cannot afford to speak carelessly about yourself, your future, or your situation. Stop agreeing with the enemy's script by saying, "I am cursed, I am unlucky, nothing ever works for me. I am done, I always fail, I will never change." Those declarations stain your atmosphere. They create agreement with darkness. They give permission for defeat to settle in. The strongest chosen must learn to prophesy life even when they feel surrounded by death. Even when circumstances look impossible, your mouth must declare what God has said, not what the situation looks like. Speak God's promises over your mind. Declare that you will finish what you were born to do. Bless your path even when it feels hard. Bless your body even when it feels weak. Bless your future even when it feels uncertain. Your words today are shaping your reality tomorrow. And listen to me carefully. You must also guard your heart from bitterness. The fire you walked through left scars, and the enemy would love to turn those scars into poison. If you let resentment build, it will harden your spirit and close your ears to God. Bitterness does not hurt the people who hurt you. It only destroys you from the inside out. It blocks your blessings. It clouds your discernment. It keeps you trapped in a prison of your own making. Forgiveness is not a feeling. It is an act of obedience. It is a choice you make not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free. You release people into God's hands so your own heart can stay free. This does not mean you allow them back into the same position in your life. This does not mean you pretend the hurt never happened, but it does mean you refuse to live chained to what they did. You refuse to let their actions define your future. You choose freedom over revenge, peace over bitterness, healing over hatred. Be very careful with compromise. Your rank does not allow you to play on the edge of sin and assume you will not fall. Little compromises become big chains. What you flirt with today may own you tomorrow. When the Spirit convicts you about something, content, habits, people, places, do not argue, do not delay. Obey quickly. Every time you say yes to conviction, your discernment sharpens. Every time you ignore it, your discernment dulls. You must also take your body seriously. Exhaustion, poor health, and constant neglect of your physical temple will weaken your ability to carry your spiritual task. Rest is not laziness. It is strategy. Nourish yourself. Sleep when you need to. Do not glorify constant burnout as being strong. A depleted vessel cannot pour for long. The enemy will gladly use fatigue as a weapon if you invite it by refusing to care for yourself. Do not chase platforms. The strongest chosen are not called to worship visibility. You are called to worship God and obey His instructions, whether or not they place you in front of people. Fame without foundation is a trap. If God chooses to put you in visible positions, it will be because your character has been tested in the unseen place. Seek depth, not popularity. Seek purity, not performance. Let God open doors in His timing. Surround your days with prayer. Talk to God about everything. Invite Him into your decisions, your schedule, your frustrations, your joys. Prayer keeps your spirit aligned and your pride low. When you stop praying, you start relying on your own strength, and that is when the enemy's traps begin to look reasonable. Hold on to hope. These warnings are not meant to scare you, but to protect you. You are needed. Your light is needed. Your voice, your healing, your obedience, your presence. They all matter in this moment of history. Walk carefully, but do not walk in fear. Walk with reverence, aware of the weight you carry, but also with confidence, knowing you are not walking alone. The same God who chose you will keep you if you stay close to Him. The time of spiritual games is over for you. You cannot unknow who you are now. From here on, every step you take either honors your calling or runs from it. Let these instructions sink deep. Adjust what needs to be adjusted. Release what needs to be released. Embrace what needs to be embraced. Chosen one, if you are still here, it is because your spirit recognizes this word as yours. You have walked through fire, carried hidden burdens, and survived battles that tried to erase you. Yet you are still standing, still seeking, still listening. That alone is proof that the hand of God has been over your life from the beginning. You are not just hearing information. You are standing in a moment of activation. Think about everything you have survived. Think about all the times you should have given up, but something inside you refused to quit. Think about the moments when you had every reason to walk away from God, from faith, from hope, but you stayed. That was not your strength alone. That was heaven holding you, keeping you, sustaining you, even when you did not feel it. You have been in training this entire time. Every battle was a lesson. Every wound was preparation. Every dark night was grooming you for bright days ahead. From this day forward, I want you to see yourself differently. You are not a mistake, not an accident, not too much, not too little. You are exactly who heaven needed you to be for this moment in history. You are a carrier of a mantle, a bearer of prophecy, one of the strongest among the chosen. Your scars are not shame. They are seals of what you have overcome. They are evidence that you survived what was meant to destroy you. They are proof that you are still here for a reason. Right now I speak blessing over you. May your mind be cleared from confusion. May the fog lift. May clarity come like a lightning strike, sharp and undeniable. May your heart be healed from old wounds, from betrayal, from disappointment, from rejection. May the walls around your heart come down in the presence of God while remaining up against the schemes of the enemy. May your steps be guided with divine precision. May you recognize open doors and have the courage to walk through them. May you discern closed doors and have the wisdom to not force them open. May every chain that has tried to hold you beneath your calling lose its grip. I speak breakage over generational cycles. I speak freedom over mental strongholds. I speak restoration over stolen years. May clarity, courage, and holy boldness rise in you like never before. May you stop second-guessing what God has already confirmed. May you stop apologizing for the calling on your life. May you stop shrinking to make others comfortable. May you walk in the fullness of who you were created to be, without shame, without hesitation, without apology. From this moment, walk as if heaven has sent you, because it has. Walk as if your steps matter, because they do. Walk as if people are watching, because they are, even if you cannot see them yet. Guard your spirit, honor your assignment, and do not return to the smallness you were rescued from. When doubt whispers, remember this word. When warfare rises, remember who you are. When people try to box you in, remember that God called you out. You were not made for cages, you were made for kingdoms. If this has spoken to your soul, I want you to do 3 things right now. First, leave a comment below. Tell me what part of this message hit you the hardest. Your testimony could be the confirmation someone else desperately needs. Second, share this video with another believer who needs to hear this today. And third, make sure you are subscribed to this channel, because the journey of the strongest chosen does not end here. This is only the beginning of you fully walking as who you were always meant to be. The prophecy is real, your calling is real, and your time is now together. We rise toward the light,